We are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work. We will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your support. And more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you. God bless America. And more importantly, God bless our victims. Well, it is great to see all of my beautiful people here. Hey, guys. It's nice to see you this evening, but listen, I just saw Eyes Wide Open's post as we were rolling into this, so I'm modifying the live kind of last minute because I always love avocation. We've got somebody that's advocating in our chat, so we are going to actually be talking about Tabitha's case just a tad bit. Thank you, Eyes Wide Open, for bringing that to our chat. God bless you for that. And of course, any opportunity we have to advocate for a victim of a crime, we definitely will do that. So let me get through this, and we'll just take just a few moments to recognize Tabitha, a child that has been missing for a significant amount of time, and it's getting new wind back in the case. Hopefully, it sounds like they're making a push. So we will be going over that. Cindy, it's nice to see you. God bless you. Jen, it's great to see you this evening. The real me too is up in the house. Bullhorn Betty is present. Tammy, it's nice to see you. VA, Dev, it's nice to see you. Misty, good evening. Joyce, me and you. Bev, it's nice to see you. Who else do we have up in the house? Sharon, it's nice to see our beautiful Sonia is up in the house. Naughty little girl. Lisa Bird, it's nice to see you. River, hey, I'm up here. I'm here. We're going to be talking about stuff. Miss Moore, it's nice to see you. Low Rider, good evening. Jody, Random the Dime. Interesting. What's new in the case? We'll be going over a few things this evening. This is going to be thought-provoking. I hope everybody decides to participate in our discussion and topic for the evening. Stacy, it's nice to see you. Jody, Renee, River, I think I said hi to you, but if I didn't, hello, Crystal Pistol. Ooh, I like that. Okay. My Clint Eastwood's a little rusty, okay? Okay. Carla, it's nice to see you. Cake is up in the house. It's nice to see you, my love. True Crime Addict. Hello. Vicky, it's nice to see you. Virginia Giggles. It is nice to see you. Wow, we're starting to get a lot of people in here. So I'm going to go through this real quick. Southern and everybody else. B. Betty, my mod squad, everybody that's here. It's great to see each and every one of you. I just want to go through here and see if there's anything major going on here up in the house. If anybody has any questions, and then we'll be diving right on in. It's nice to see you. You know, VA, I got to be honest, I'm starting to miss chaos. See, I bet you she didn't even know. I even noticed that my chaos is missing. I have no chaos. Oh, well, I have plenty of chaos in my life, but she's the only chaos I like in my life. All right. Kelly Mack, it's nice to see you. I'm sorry, I accidentally sent a salutation as a question. I'm sorry, Betty. Great to see you and everybody. Kelly Mack, we love you. It's nice to see you too. Tay, it's nice to see you, my love. Everybody else that's up in the house. Did I see? Oh, there she is. You're the only chaos I like to see. MJ Rapper, it's nice to see you guys. It's nice to see you. So, as many of you, I know we have new people that come in, so I'm just going to give my Reader's Digest version of the case that we're going to come in. I know it sounds redundant, but you never know who is going to be seeing this video at what point in time. So we are covering the case of Sebastian Rogers. Sebastian Rogers is a 15-year-old high-functioning autistic boy that went to bed at night, and when his mom woke up, she reported he was not in his bed and has never been seen again. This happened on April 26th. And there's a lot of things that we don't know about when it comes to this case. So we're going to be talking about Sebastian Rogers this evening. We're going to be talking about a number of topics that I've already got this set up. And if we have some time at the end, I'll open up the phone lines to see, to hear any kind of commentary. But I am going to try to watch the chat as much as possible tonight so I don't miss any of your comments. It's very hard. It's easier for me on the it's easier for me on the videos when I premiere the videos because I can just designate my time to the chat. It's hard whenever I'm here talking and trying to present and trying to watch chat. So if you guys could bear with me on that, I really want to get to all of your comments because I know we all have a lot to say. And just like everything, like even just talking to my BFF today and about the Gilgo Beach, stuff. And she just, something just rolled off her tongue. And it's like, I never thought about that perspective. But you know what I'm saying? Like we never think about the other perspectives. There's several different types of personalities. There's two sides of the brain, so people have their different experiences to boot. So it's just because I think, oh, Elfig, God bless you. Thank you, my love. Thank you, my love. So just because I can't think of it doesn't mean like my BFF. She didn't even think the way I was. She just said, oh, well, maybe it's because of, the years. Maybe he just didn't have it in him. Maybe he's tired. Maybe he's old. Maybe he just ain't kicking like he used to. Right? I never even thought about that. Something so simple. So I really like the participation here. But just like I said, eyes wide open. I just wanted to take a few minutes to give to Tabitha, which is now starting to kind of make some rounds, if you will. So give me just a moment. Let me get this set up right. I think this is it. There we go. There we go. And give me just a second. Let me pop over here. It's always so great. All these things.
What happened to Tabitha Tutors? More than 20 years later, her story remains one of Nashville's most high-profile cold cases.
Just 13 years old when she vanished while walking to a school bus stop in East Nashville. She would be 34 today. Tonight, News 2's Stephanie Langston revisits the case, taking a closer look at the latest developments.
Well, this is the last place anyone reported seeing 13-year-old Tabitha Tutors as she walked to the school bus stop here on Boscobel, just a couple of blocks away from her East Nashville home, where her family still lives today.
That's all we have left is hope.
Although tattered, a sign still hangs outside the Tutors' home on Lillian Street. Inside,
she's Papa's girl.
Bo Tutors holds one of his great-grandchildren. Just beside him, Tabitha's bedroom remains as the day it was when his daughter went missing in 2003.
We're just hoping that she...
Do you guys notice this? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to stop it in the middle of this advocation. But, this is a father that loves his child. It doesn't touch the room. All these years later, this bothers him. This is, and we're going to be diving into Sebastian Rogers. So I just wanted you guys to just pay attention to the differences.
Comes back home.
A hope that's never faded, with memories of Tabitha as clear as that dark day she vanished.
I woke Tabitha up, told her I love her, and I'll see her this evening. She, okay, Daddy, I love you.
But she never returned, with the family's quaint home becoming the center of national attention. The hunt was on for Tabitha.
It's mind-boggling.
The family initially flooded by tips that turned up empty.
It's just been Real bad roller coaster ride.
A ride that hasn't stopped. In 2020, detectives searched property in Hickman County, potentially tied to a person of interest in Tabitha's disappearance. In 2021, the case was assigned a new detective. And in 2022, a new age progression photo released.
Like, it's hard for us to get the little girl image out of our, because that's the last time we saw her, she was 13 years old. It's hard for us to get that image out of her mind.
Today, his little girl would be 34 years old.
It's hard to get her image out of his head.
Somebody out there that knows what happened. You know, guilt is hard to live with.
Praying someone comes forward with a lead that will break the case, while confident God will assure he sees Tabitha again.
He knows where she's at, and he knows what happened to her too. It's like, you know, if I don't see her here, I'll see her when I get up there, if she's up there.
So, and then there's one other video that I did want you guys to see before we... I think this is... I don't know if this is her. I think this might... Hold on, let me just... So I'll grab some really quick. No, this is not the same girl. I was about to say, it didn't look like the same girl when I opened it up. So there we have it, guys. Okay. And you guys can all hear me just fine. It just said I lost some audio connection, but that's okay. So I just wanted you guys to take a few moments just to hear about Tabitha's case. Again, it's a sad case, but that's not really why we're here. We're kind of here for, you know, some more information. And so I've been reading a lot of emails and everything like that about this case, and I appreciate it. We even have people going through the interviews, getting us spreadsheets. We're going to be going over some of that information of a comparison. But there's one detail that I think is super, oh, God bless you. God bless you, Jen. That I think is super, super, super important. And that's the fact that the DA started arriving and working with law enforcement within 72 hours of this case. And I think that many people overlooked that or did not put as much weight into that as you might, as I think it's as important as that piece of information is. Because usually in missing person case and traditional missing person case, you don't have that type of involvement by a DA's office at that juncture in an investigation. So we have that key and critical information that I think we need to point out to everybody. And before we get started, I know we've talked about this quite extensively about the probability of Sebastian actually walking out of the home. The probability is very, very, very low. But we also have to talk about the other doors and the suspicious activity and all the suspicious stuff that happened that night that nobody wants to, you know, these are things that I connect together. For example, Katie is saying that he went to bed at 9 o'clock. She's saying she fell asleep on the couch at 10 and woke up a little while later and went to bed at midnight. Chris is telling us right after that Katie called him at 9:43 or 9:46 and went to bed, and she was falling asleep on the phone, and he woke her up and got her to put the dogs in the cage and went to bed, and she went to bed at midnight and she fell asleep, obviously. Very, very weird language, very odd behavior. It doesn't make sense. Why do we need to know that she went to bed and was asleep at midnight? That is convincing language. Why is she trying to convince us that? And the only reason why somebody is working overtime to convince you of something is typically because it is just the opposite of what they're trying to convince you of. Now, we've been hearing and been bouncing around with information about the cameras. The DA is involved. Yes, the DA is involved. The DA has been involved since like 72 hours. So, I mean, I know that they did do a search warrant for the landfill, and they're going to need the DA for help for that, and possibly, potentially, right? So I don't understand why the DA was so heavily involved in this case so early on. I think that was a key factor that many people overlooked. We still have, after all these months, still have a lot of questions related to cameras. I do not engage in the rumors. I mean, we do if it works or bodes, but so outlandish rumors that it doesn't make sense is where I'm starting to hear some of these camera rumors head. Like there's a camera in the garage, but nowhere else. And some anonymous person that nobody knows has the ins to this camera and it's been able to get this camera, you know, secret op. And now he's got it out there and he's going to show the world that, you know, there was 2 people in the garage. Like, I don't believe that nonsense. Okay. Just because they say it doesn't make it so. Okay. We've been around the block here, just in this case alone, right? The mattress, the pressure cleaner, right? Those perked up when people called in to spread this salacious information, and it just quieted down just as quickly as it flared up because it's BS that had no weight. It was all for clicks and views, either by the person or by the creator. Don't know. But I hardly doubt if Nick Barris can go in that neighborhood and people trust him because he's their local guy, right? He won't trust somebody like me. He probably won't trust somebody like you. But they would trust Nick because they see him on his local news and they know he's legit. So if he was in an area, right, and he could get that video camera footage, and you got somebody that works at Brinks in the area, do you think they're going to come out and say, you know, I got this, this video, you know, here, let me have it. Let me have it so we can send it over to the FBI. Sure. Happy to send it to you. Do 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 do. Oh, ghosting. I hear, you know, I have this psychic ability that I feel like ghosting is in the near future. Interesting. Funny how that works. So, you know, I don't know what to say about that. This is what I'm going to caution people and the people that come across this video is be very careful. When cases get this big, people intentionally put stuff into cases. I don't know why. I know you're going to say it's so stupid and why would anybody do that? I don't know. We're normal people. These people are not. All right? We wouldn't do it, but they do. Okay, so don't fall for everything you see or hear is all I'm saying. You know, you're going to have to make it for whatever you got to make it for. I'm just cautioning you. Okay. I'm just cautioning you. Do whatever you guys want to do. I'm just saying, be careful. In my opinion, CNK wants us to think he woke Kay up and told her to put the dogs up to go to bed. Why does he, you know what? I didn't think about that, but why does he need us to think that? They need us to believe she was dozing off on the couch. Why do they need us to believe that she was dozing off on the couch? You know? Would they have, don't they have tracking? Maybe, I'm not quite there yet, you guys. I'm right now, I'm actually not too far behind. I'm only a minute behind in chat right now. But I think I heard somebody say, and I may be wrong about this, but is there a way to tell whether you're moving about a house? Can they see that she's moving from one side of the house to the other? Like if she's, you know, panicking, you know, like if she's got like an Apple Watch, if she's got her cell phone, can they tell? Or does it just ping in the house? I mean, you would think I would know this, but I'm scared I want to say the wrong answer. You know, because I would think I should know this, but I don't recall. I want to go with I don't recall for safety reasons. How do I ask a question, Carrie, it's kind of hard with this. You can put it in the chat. I am going down. You're not too far behind. We're at 8:14 right now, so I think you're in good shape. If you want to put your question down, I am going through them right now. So now would be a great time for questions. How do I ask you a question? Oh, sorry, I just read that. Mermaid, hello. Okay, hello, Mermaid. It's nice to see you. Z, yeah. Well, I can't tell you. I can't tell you who it is. You'll figure it out. Stick around long enough. You'll know who I'm talking about. As if someone has been holding on to info for 4 months. Yeah. Oh, Celsius. Yes, exactly. That's another thing. Even with that mattress thing, I'm thinking, wait a minute. And everybody was buying into it. I'm like, guys, like, news was out there literally talking to the neighbors in real time, and nobody was the wiser. I remember there were several neighbors that came out and were like, oh my God, we can't even believe it. We feel like we didn't know what was going on in our own neighborhood. Like, nobody knew. And so to hear neighbors saying that we saw this and we saw that, I was like, wait, what? Because I remember all those neighbors' interviews, because at the time I was reviewing every single one of them just to see if I could get a little insight into them, And so I was going through all the news and all the news things about Sebastian, and you'll see the neighbors there and you can hear how they're talking. Nobody knew. I can't imagine that any neighbor, the way they seem so heartbroken. If anybody thought this boy was sleeping in the freaking garage and being abused, they would have been calling in CPS, and we weren't hearing any of that. Now, I don't know what's in the report. Seth hasn't, divulged those. He can't divulge those. Lawfully can't divulge those. He knows that. We all know that. But what he did say is the one thing that was in the report is that his son felt the safest at his house. And that goes completely against what a lot of little butthurt, Bettys out here on these streets are saying. Because at the end of the day, Sebastian loved his dad. His dad's the only one out here looking for him. And I just wish people would give the man a break. I can't imagine being in his shoes, and shame on the people doing this to him. All of them. You think it's easy for me to sit here and watch, people I used to call friends do this to this man? It's not easy. I'm heartbroken myself. I'm feeling the pain from all of this, but I don't know what morals these people have anymore, but I couldn't live with myself, honestly. I just couldn't live with myself if I did this to a man that lost his child and all he wants is answers. I don't know if I could really live with myself. I think you carried him to him or her vehicle. Yeah, that might be it. That's another thing we need to talk about, these ways out. And we're going to get there. I'm just trying to get through this. I saw somebody ask if they can ask a question. Oh, thanks, Wes. God bless you. Thanks for being the newest member of this crazy family. I can't see her question. A girl was asking, and I'm trying to find her question, but I haven't been able to see it yet. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move on. Let me just keep going, make sure I didn't miss anything. I know you guys have been chatting, but I'm trying to find the gal's question. Hey, Pac-Man, it's nice to see you, my love. I haven't seen you in a while. Oh, we got Cheeky Chops in the house. Hello. I don't think I saw her question. All right, well, if you have any questions, I guess throw them. Oh, here it is. Hold on. Here's Kara, Brienne. I have a question about the picture Seth was talking about in the interview. Was it a picture of Sebastian with the optimism shirt that was used by TBI for the missing poster? This is very important. I don't remember what he specifically said. I have a question about the picture Seth was talking about. I remember him saying that she shoved the phone. Let me see my questions, my list of questions. Give me just a second. If it's very important, let me just see what I can do for you, hon. Let me just see. If I can find out where the question is or what I asked, I can go pull the transcript and see where that was in here. And that was when, let me just reread your question again. I have a question about the picture said she was talking about was the picture Sebastian Rogers missing person. This is very important. Okay, Kara, so I'm going to have to ask you a question. You're going to have to try to respond to me. And this is for Kara. This is this question right here. I'm trying to find the question in my my list. When did he say that? Was it about her throwing the phone up in his face and talking about the BJs? Or was it the conversation or asking him what he was wearing when he, no, because he said Chris answered that. So it must be, so you're talking about when she picked up the phone and shoved it in his face, he said the photo on the phone she was trying to shove in his face. Is that what you're trying to ask? Or you just want to know if that, I just want to make sure that's the one you're talking about. If that's the one you're talking about, I think I can find it in the interview. We might be able to listen to it together. Might be able to. So I'll wait for you to respond to that. You do a wonderful job. Thanks for talking about Tabitha and Sebastian. May they never be forgotten. Enjoy. Enjoy nice. Oh, thank you, Sheila. God bless you. God bless you. I do love my ice cream. And you know what? It's kind of funny because I'm out of ice cream in the house. So actually, after this live is over, I might actually sneak off to go get some ice cream. Shh, don't tell anybody. Let me see. Sorry, guys, I got to pass you because I'm having a conversation. I want to get this conversation there. Yes, when she shoved it in his face. Okay. So that would have been like halfway through, I think, is when I discussed it, behaviors, likes, and then we start going into, that's when he went on that dissertation. I remember I had to pull it back. Where we start talking about, he didn't want to talk about those. I remember he shut me down on that. My printer just started printing. I must have had something in this computer that was stuck, but I'm listening. That sucks. That must be, I mean, I'm wasting about 60 pages of paper. I know exactly what's printing out of that damn printer. I don't know how, I guess when I opened up the Word document, it must have triggered something. I hear something printing in my printer. Before your son disappeared, how long were you there? So that's where it was. Okay, I found it in the spot. Which page is this? So this is 7th page in. So that would be what, the middle of the interview? Okay, let's go there. Guys, bear with me. I'm sorry. We're going on a little tangent, so just bear with me. My account. Let's go to the interview. There's the interview. You know, okay, so that's an accurate. Sorry, guys. Okay, I found it. We're almost there. We're actually pretty close. Hold on. Okay. Hold on, guys. Okay, let me see where that question is. Hold on here. Interviews. Okay, we're not quite there yet, so it sounds like a little bit further. Just bear with me. I'm trying to get to something. Can you guys hear this? So you guys can hear what I'm doing. I'm reviewing this. Sorry, guys. I didn't.
That was called my Minnie.
So I'm just going through here and trying to find the spot.
And whether she realizes it or not, every time she said something that was negative about me, I'm pretty sure my son took it to heart because he's my son.
Well, I have to. How when you hear Katie talk about your son, and this is one thing that's really kind of rubbing me a little bit raw. You know, she talks about some, in my viewpoints.
It's set through, and she won't even say my son. I'm looking for him. I don't hear her doing that.
Where is it?
Does
anybody know where it's at?
He goes, well, sure, I know Seth. If he's asked you to care for his son, me and Sebastian.
I don't know where it's at.
Another one to take the last bit of my family away from me. She's good at that.
And that was about the but that just was just in the, what was I saying before that? Let's go back here.
Out the use of medication. And until he was 8 years old, he wasn't on any medication. Children. Another day that she, what? I just don't see the point of him getting to come stay at my house.
And this is probably gonna, my next questions are gonna kind of be geared toward Chris. So, according to Chris, both of you guys spoke. What he's told the world is basically you guys speak regularly. Is that true, and how often?
About Sebastian, yes.
Yeah.
But obviously, he's feeding me a line of bullshit every time I fucking spoke to him. And my phone number is still the same. And I know he probably watching. He probably in chat. Hi, Chris.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh at that, but that is funny.
Mm-hmm.
And this.
Sorry, that's been my father has told me to come over and ask you.
And
okay, let me come back to chat. Does anybody know where it's at in chat in this video?
Being in your,
because I can't find it anywhere.
In my opinion, there were rumors at that time that he was screaming at you or raising his voice, or something about the whole GoFundMe situation. Do you have any comment on?
Text them, call them, find out.
Let me ask you something real quick, and it's kind of talking about your team now.
The lack of emotion, maybe. I mean, my son's missing.
Back to
Sebastian.
Here, I think this is it. I think we found it. Found it. Hold on.
I want to kind of start now picking your brain on trying to remember, and it's going to suck for you, and I know. And if you need to slow down, just let me know. But I want you to kind of go back to the morning of February 26th.
Here it is, guys.
And you listened to your voicemail message.
Kara, here it is.
And you heard Chris on it. Was it Chris that was on the voicemail?
The text message.
Text message. And
I had a missed call and a text message from Christopher Proudfoot telling me to 911. So I called him.
And what was that conversation like?
You're welcome, Tara.
Don't be angry or mad. Sebastian's missing. What are you fucking talking about? My son is missing.
Thank you, Lois. I didn't know that.
Did you find the statement, don't be angry or mad, odd?
Yes and no. I mean, my son's missing. You know, distraught would have been a better word. Confused on why he's gone. Mad and angry now. With what I know, yeah.
It'll be coming up. This is where it's at. I know that this is where it's at.
But then again, what I know now is everything that Chris knew beforehand.
Did you get immediately concerned when you got that call that there was something seriously wrong? Did you just know immediately?
I left there and I was doing a well above the speed limit.
That's okay, Jen. Maybe refresh.
House to find out what's going on.
Looking back on that call you had with Chris, does anything now seem out of the ordinary or odd?
The lack of emotion, maybe?
Oh, so it's right there. I was back here. I remember hearing that. I would have just let it play a little bit longer.
When you got there...
Here it is.
What did Katie personally tell you happened? Did you guys talk when you got to the house?
When I got there, I assessed the situation before I walked in. There was law enforcement was everywhere, in and out the door, so on and so forth. By the time I got there, the dog people were there and the drone people were there. I was the last one to this stupid fucked up party.
What was it like when you arrived at the home outside of the craziness from law enforcement? You know, what was the behavior of the people, Katie and other people that were there?
When I walked in, Katie said something to me and then shoved her phone in my face. There was a picture of Sebastian, the one that you see him with his optimism shirt on. Started, but it kind of confused me on why she's shoving a picture of Sebastian in my face. I know what my son looks like.
Do you know why she did that?
No, still don't know why. I just started looking to see what I could see. Obviously, my son's not there.
How long were you there?
Okay. So hopefully, Kara, hopefully that answered your question. That's about as much information as I have is what I got on that interview. So I don't have really any more information than that. But I instead of me trying to figure out what he said verbatim, I just figured we'd find the place. Sorry, it took a little detour to do that. But thank you for the chat that allowed me to do that. One of our members in here, one of our subscribers, was asking what Seth had said, and I was trying to remember what Seth had said, and I couldn't remember verbatim, and it was important to this subscriber. So we just took a little detour to find the clip and play it for her so she could get the information that she needed. Hopefully that helped. And so now we'll get back on to, pretty much why we are here. I don't know if I can use your name, but RM is been very active, been trying to let law enforcement and TBI know, to interrogate them, to interrogate Chris and Katie, because they feel, I think some people feel that Chris and Katie, I'm going to jump back. I'm not going to be able to see you guys. I got to jump on and read some stuff to you guys, and I won't be able to see comments, but RM has reached out and, tells that, and this is not just this person. There's a lot of people that are very concerned about Tennessee's interrogation practices and whether or not they split Chris and Katie apart and properly interrogated both of them. There are people and residents and citizens of Tennessee that reach out to me. Did that answer your question, Kara? Hopefully it did. They need to be interrogated separately. Exactly, Katie Cat. And some people don't believe that they were. Now, I don't know if that's true. I have no opinion on that because I don't know the practices as far as their interrogation techniques in Tennessee. I'll tell you, I'll be the first to tell you I'm ignorant when it comes to Tennessee stuff. Like even the 7 years and stuff like that, knowing about that was from the Summer Wells case. It just happened to stick. I mean, literally, it's just like that. So I remembered that. Mom's behavior is extremely unsettling. Bauer feet talk. Yeah. Are talking about vacay and jewelry during the time. Yes. This stuff is really like, I think us as normal people, and, and I'm talking about normal people. Normal people come from all walks of life, all different types of statuses, but we still think and comprehend normally. We're not outlandish. For the most part, I mean, we get a little creative. Okay, we'll admit we get a little creative. Okay, we get a little creative. Katie says there is a date on that receipt in the picture, and it's a clue for sure. She lied. Yeah, because he said I remember him specifically saying that he knew that was from Costco's, I thought he said. I could be wrong. But I could have sworn he said Costco's. I could be wrong. Let me just get on with this. So PC, I don't know. I didn't see anybody give me. If you guys would like me to use your name. Oh, yep, I can use your name. It's SRK. SRK. It says, hello, my favorite coffee bean. My name is SRK on your channels. Thank you so much for your dedication to this case. I've been on since day one. Get to it. I've been talking about qualifying language. So going over interviews, I noticed when asked, this is interesting. This is why I pulled it. I love this. What happened the day Sebastian went missing? This is why I pulled this to bring up for conversation. What happened the day that Sebastian went missing? We've heard Katie ask that question multiple times, and SRK picked up on this. She answers with what happened in detail. Well, I wouldn't say quite detail. I would say it's vague, but she goes back to the day before. She goes back to the 25th. When you ask her what happened the day Sebastian went missing, she always goes back to the day before, which is pretty interesting. Not much about the day Sebastian went missing, which was the question. I've only had time to go over the first two, but we'll keep watching. I believe they were qualifying their story. These parents are disgusting. God, I pray they nail their butts to the wall. Thank you. But that is interesting, isn't it? And we all know that is true. Every time we turn around and you ask, or she's asked, what happened the day that Sebastian went missing, she goes right back to the 25th. And we all believe that it was the night before he was reported missing, that most likely something happened to him. And from the experts, the body experts, as well as the speech and behavior experts, believes that whatever happened right around 10 p.m. to Sebastian by his mother. Okay. Now, these are assessments. These are analysis. This is not hard. Just because the experts say that in their expert opinion doesn't make it so. All right. It's just that, an opinion. So don't go over and start attacking, Chris and Steve, Chris McDonough or Steve Johnson. It's their opinion, their professional opinion, because they have years of experience in the field. To all the, high school graduates that like to dog people that have literally 30 years of experience in a field. The most insane thing I've ever heard. I remember the first time I heard a freaking felon that was recently released from jail dogging Jennifer Coffindaffer. And I'm just like, really? Yeah. Like, and people literally are on the channel. Yeah. I'm like, dirtbag, 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 dirtbag. I mean, for the normal people out here, that's what we say behind your backs. Just a FYI, if you're curious. I'm just blunt like that. That's what we say. So if you're part of those groups, we talk about you behind your back. And we say how much of a dumbass you are because you're dumbasses. Just saying. Just saying. Just saying. So thank you, SRK, for that. We have another one from Merle's mom. Merle's mom had two distinct spots in a video that I thought we would listen to. And it's the only two doors he could have gone out of and one he wouldn't have. And so there's two specific spots that we're going to listen to here in a video. But I also want to point out, and this is something that we said in the last live that we did earlier today, is everybody keeps eliminating the garage. The garage is the only other door that can be opened and closed by secondary means. One, by a keypad. Two, by an auto clicker. You know, the garage clicker, right? Period. So everybody keeps, just because Katie and Chris said there's no way he could have gone out that way, right? Doesn't make it so, because they lied to us about everything else. So what makes us believe that they're telling us the truth that Sebastian wouldn't go out the garage? Garage is key. Everybody, yeah, there's something going on with the garage, the mattress, the her leaving the house. And somebody made a point, and I don't want to forget that. I see it. Hold on one second. Let me star you real quick. Forgotten. I'll come back to you in just a second. We keep forgetting. What was Katie doing that morning? Let's think about this. Let's process this. Let's be parents, okay? Many of you guys are parents, okay? So let's put you in parental mode, okay? Take a deep breath in, clear the mind. Let's get you set. So you wake up in the morning and you walk into your child's room. They're not there. Do you immediately panic? Let's ask the first question. Let's ask the first question. And I know many of you guys have autistic children. So the idea that I don't have a good pool of people right here to pull from, let's ask the first question. Your immediate thoughts. You walk into your child's room, your child's not there. At that moment, that very specific moment, do you just flip a wig? Oh my God, your child's not here. Or do you go look for your child? So that's the first question. So Katie, according to Katie's story, let's do this piece by piece. According to Katie's story, she says that she looked around the house for approximately 3 minutes. We don't know specifically where she looked in that 3 minutes. They do have some sound barriers throughout the house. Sound barriers basically mean walls, okay? So she talked about looking like around walls in case he was trying to play a prank on her. But I'm trying to decide, because I don't know. I really, surely, truly just don't know. Would you freak out within 3 minutes of not finding your child? You may. I don't know. I want you guys to answer below. We'll get to it in just a second. So he's missing. She looks around. What does she do now? Wouldn't you expect her to go out the front door and open it and holler out, Sebastian, are you out here somewhere? Did you come outside, hon? Son? Wouldn't you walk outside in your pajamas or whatever? We have to remember she should have been in her pajamas, right? I mean, she just woke up. She went to go wake up her son. Her son wasn't there. She gets on the phone. She's immediately freaking out. She calls Chris. She gets in her car, drives her. When does she have time to change? She wasn't there when law enforcement got there. So mama should have been in pajamas with curlers in her hair. What do you bet we're going to find out the woman was fully dressed? What do you bet? What do you bet that we're going to find out when she pulled up in that house, she was fully dressed? When did she have time to change her clothes? When did she have time to change her clothes? She woke up, went into her son's room. She should have been in her pajamas. She should have been in her pajamas. She should have been out that front door screaming and hollering and carrying on in her pajamas with curlers in her hair. Not literally curlers in her hair. Her hair looks curly enough. You know, and actually mine's wavy, but I have to straighten it in order. Otherwise it's frizzy. Okay, so let's keep going. Let's keep going, and then we'll get back to it. Oh, thank you, Sonia. God bless you. Sonia gifted 5 Bullhorn Betty memberships. If you got a Bullhorn Betty membership, so some people say no, some people say yes. So I guess we do have a mixed bag. You know, parents are going to be on their own thing, you know, but we also have hover parents, right? We have hover parents. We have parents that aren't hover parents. So I guess, you know, down the middle, okay, I can respect that. I can respect that, you know, right brain, left brain, you know, I can respect that. 50-50, close enough. So some people would freak out, some people wouldn't. I'm one of those people that I feel like it would be like, this is not it. They got to be around here somewhere. I'm freaking, like, I feel like I would be talking myself out of freaking out. Like, of course my kid's here somewhere. Let me just go find him. He's got to be here somewhere. There's no way he would not be in that house. You see what I'm saying? But I don't know. I guess if you're frantic, I guess you could run around the house in 3 minutes. Legitimately. I mean, if we're being fair about it, I think she could boot, scoot, and boogie through a 3,400 square foot home in 3 minutes. If you're frantic, I think she could do that. I think that would be, now I'm playing devil's advocate here. You know, I don't want to be too harsh. I want to be as reasonable as possible. So we'll say 3 minutes is a reasonable time to walk through a home, because I truly believe I could walk through this house 3 separate times, or actually more, in a 3-minute period. And their house is about 3 times the size of my house, to put it in perspective. This is not my house behind me. This is what I wish I actually did live in. I just don't, okay? But we can dream. We can dream. I would rush to search, but I wouldn't panic at the moment. No. That's kind of, I'm right there. That's kind of my thing. Like I'm thinking, you know, there would be a moment when I'm freaking out, like, oh my God, this is effing happening. You know, like, I mean, like when the light bulb comes on, right? Ding dong. But I don't know if that initial thing, I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, it's just awfully weird that she's speaking to him the night before, 3 significant hours, while she's trying to play us that she's fallen asleep on the couch, fell asleep on the couch. Chris was the guy that got her up and got her off to bed like a good husband would. You know, everything that makes him look like a freaking rock star husband. That's what he wants us to believe, right? But they keep making mistakes, lots and lots of mistakes, and we're going to keep looking at them, you know, and it comes down to those dogs too. So now we have this whole situation where Katie needs us to believe that she's been falling asleep on the couch. She needs us to believe that she fell asleep at midnight. And then she needs us to believe that she freaked out the next morning and called her husband first. And he had to call 911, or excuse me, he didn't call 911. He called into the dispatch non-emergency line and managed to get somebody at 6:33 in the morning, which from what I hear is very next to impossible to do. But all the stars and moons aligned that day, and he got through miraculously. Weird. And now we're here. Chris and Katie are gone. Chris disappeared for 17 hours. We don't believe a damn thing that they said. And we got a lot of questions, like why the DA was involved in 72 hours, why we're only hearing of 2 doors when there's 3 doors that were potential. We heard that there is listen to this, the couch in front of the door. Listen to this. Remember, there was a couch in front of the door on Summer Wells' home, right? Remember that? Downstairs, there was a couch in front of the door that miraculously disappeared. Right about the time Summer Wells disappeared, and many people thought it was suspicious. I, too, agree that it was slightly suspicious. But they needed that couch removed from that door because they needed a way to show that somebody got in there and snatched their kid, right? So they needed to show the abduction, so the couch was removed. What about this couch at this other door? The only other door he could have escaped from what I'm hearing. I haven't heard it yet. I've been waiting for people. I think somebody did send it to me. I just haven't gotten to that part of my email yet and haven't listened to it. But what if they put the couch in front of the door so they could make sure that they had their alibi tight, that there's no possibility of an abduction? Because remember, I don't think they wanted people to believe this was an abduction. I think they knew if they thought that this was an abduction. And I think when this went to an Amber Alert, I think Chris and Katie kind of freaked out a little bit and wanted to go on the defensive, saying, no, he walked out the door. 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 They didn't want the resources of an abducted child. And not only just an abducted child, but an abducted child with medical needs. You're talking about bringing in they thought they had the cavalry at the front door. When you have a medically needy child that could have potentially been abducted, you got the federal government, in every orifice of Hendersonville, Tennessee. So I think that they went out of their way to make sure the abduction theory didn't hold water because they didn't want that type of investigation. I think they really thought this through. Because there's got to be I'm sitting here thinking, if I was in their position, I would want a plan B. They've eliminated their plan B. So the only way they would eliminate their plan B is if it wasn't going to benefit them. But they had a scapegoat. The scapegoat was the abduction. They didn't want the abduction theory. Why? Why were they adamant that this boy walked out the door when they don't really know what happened to him? Just like Don Wells supposedly wasn't even home, but knew his daughter was abducted when they live on a freaking mountain that nobody can get to but Sasquatch. So, don't know. Oh, let me get back here. I did star you. Hold on. I know I starred you. Hold on. Let me find you again because I told you I'd read you. Oh, wow. I haven't seen all of you guys. I would like to see traffic cam footage of the Bauer Sox on their way to Seattle to confirm car passengers. And also video footage from the airport to see what kind of luggage they were carrying. I've never done a record request for an airport before. That's my only problem. I know that the TSA and I got to figure out what kind of security. I've never done a request from an airport before. I wonder if Nick Barris has. Huh. But you're right. That is interesting. That would be good. Now, the traffic cam we can probably get from maybe the municipalities. No, I think that would be county ran. Traffic cameras. I think those would be ran by the county. So we would have to identify what county and reach out to that county's, or would that be Florida Department or the State Department? State Department of Transportation. Crap. I may have to look into that. Honestly, I don't know. I'm trying to think out, trying to think out loud, and I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I really don't. I'm trying to process it, and I really just don't know the answer. So I'm sorry. I'll have to think about that. I'll get back to it. You're starred, so I'll get back to you when I go through the starred stuff. And we got a couple more. Sarah says, CP says Katie only cages the dog when he's home because he doesn't want them in the... Naturally, Chris doesn't want anything in the bed. Mr. Picky, bougie, butthurt Betty all the time. Chris is just something else. He wants everybody to cater to him and kowtow to him. I guarantee he don't give a rat's ass I don't even think he cares about what his wife likes or doesn't like. As long as she does what he wants. Because he just seems like that kind of guy. Like, you don't care if the dogs are in the bed when you're not there, but you don't like them in the bed when you are there. Don't like cats. Don't like your stepson having snakes. Can't wait to be mean to your stepson. Such a big man. Such a big man. What we know for sure, Katie was there. I personally think Chris was there as well. I think Chris came there. I do. I don't think he was going to let his wife deal with this on his own. And see, the problem is it lines up perfectly with when he would have arrived there. If everything, well, not quite either. Not quite either. Because if she did call him at like 9:43, it would have still taken him 3 hours to get there around 1. That means he would have only had a half an hour to an hour of time before he had to turn around and get back to work to be there by 5:15. He had to be there by 5:15. So, because that's when he clocked in. Now, people are saying he didn't get on his crane until 7. And people are wanting to know, I think he had to be there at 5:15. He knew he had to be there because he knew he had to be there when his wife called. That was his alibi. So if he came in at 5:15 when he doesn't normally come in at 5:15, I think it was absolutely 100% to set his alibi up. To say couldn't have possibly went back to Hendersonville. I was at work at 5:15. Go check. Go check. So I don't know. All right, let me see what else we have. So we're going to listen to Merle's mom. It's at 127:42 and 127:51. So we'll just roll through it. 27:42. Here's the first one. Let me put this up. Make sure you can see me. Sorry, guys, I'm staring into the thing, but I am watching.
Where he could have locked
from the
on
outside.
his. What I can say is there's only 2 doors in the house that he could have gone out where he could have locked
From the
on his
outside.
own or from the outside. And the one, he wouldn't have gone out because of how much noise it makes.
Yeah.
Everybody would have, and plus it would have been seen on camera.
And so he's like, there's one that he wouldn't. I wonder if that was the garage door, because they have a garage door and the garage door kind of faces the outside. So I'm not sure, but let's listen to that again. Let me see where that number is. And thank you, Merle's mom, for this. And it was at 127:42. 127:42. Let's listen to that again. Actually, I think it was back. I think it's right there, 127:27.
I'm not going to describe every door lock in our house.
No, I understand
That's a safety thing.
Yeah, I
But-
understand that. Don't do that.
Yeah, but what I can say is there's only 2 doors in the house that he could have gone out where he could have locked
From the
on his
outside.
own or from the outside. And the one, he wouldn't have gone out because of how much noise it makes.
Yeah.
Everybody would have.
He hesitates. And he starts, I think now we're going to start hearing some convincing language too, but he hesitates there.
And the one, he wouldn't have gone out because of how much noise it makes.
Yeah.
Everybody would have, and plus it would have been seen.
He
on
hesitates
camera.
there.
Let's put it that way.
Okay.
And he doesn't finish his sentence. But they keep forgetting about the garage door. No matter how you look at it, they keep forgetting about the garage door. So I have a problem with the fact that she calls him and they're on the phone for 3 hours, and the fact that she needs us to believe that she went to bed at midnight. And the need for them to tell us that he walked out the front door, but they have no evidence to support that he walked out the front door, but refuses to acknowledge any other possibility other than him walking out the front door. So what about the windows? The windows were all locked. The windows were all locked, according to them. They're adamant nobody has been inside their home. Like adamant that nobody, and maybe they're adamant that nobody has been inside their home is because that might be what's keeping the probable cause at bay for the forensic testing. Because as soon as they believe it could be an abduction, I think they have probable cause to go in there, especially if they believe he was abducted from his bed. Serenity says, on his conversation with Nina that Wednesday after Sebastian disappeared, CP said they were not going to court the following Tuesday, almost like he knew Sebastian was not going to be back by then. I remember that. And I remember thinking the same thing, the same exact thing. Everybody would have heard it. Yep. So he's implying Sebastian is sneaky. Yeah. Sneaky. And I don't understand why they keep avoiding the garage door. Because listen to this. This is what I know about garage doors. You need to lift the garage door up. You need the combination. When the garage door needs to come down, typically you only have to hit one button. So this idea that Sebastian needed a combo to shut the garage door is not true. As a matter of fact, it's probably easier for him to shut the garage door than it would have been for him to lock the front door, quite frankly. Just a thought. I don't see where she said I could use hers, but this is from DJ. And we just kind of went over that, but I wanted to read this because this is what keeps it in my mind and why I brought it up. It says, hi, Betty. I have been thinking, right? CP has allegedly turned up at work at 5:15 a.m. We know he didn't start work until 7 a.m. Katie called him a little after 6 a.m. CP stated he had earbuds in one ear for work and one for his phone. He stated that he was speaking to Katie in the crane via these buds. But how could he have been in the crane just after 6 if he didn't start work until 7? So that is a great question. I don't know the answer to that. And that's one of the questions I've had since we've heard that it was possible that he has this, that he was in that crane. And I said that, like, how in the world is he calling if he's not there? Something like their whole story is one big fat lie. Sebastian could not have locked the garage door. It's automatic. I don't think everybody refers to the neighbors. The door he referencing is the one that Sebastian would have locked when he went out. Yeah, the front door is the one that they're referring to, but they said there's another one. And plus the one in the back. In the back of the house near Katie and Chris's room, that's where all the activity seemed to have been. Thank you, Jen. God bless you. That's where all the activity seems to have been. I know they had a Ring doorbell. Everybody's saying that he slipped up. I'd like to hear it for myself. I wish somebody can somebody, if you know where that is, send that to me. I just want to hear it. I just want to hear it for myself. I want to hear how it's said. Garages also have man doors. Do not have to use the overhead door. The man door is where Sebastian ran to when he could not open the front door. KP also mentioned the man doors. Interesting. All right. So where else are we? I think I got that one done. Okay. Here's another one. This is from, let me see if I can say. This is from one of our Lisas in the chat. Hi, Betty. Watch you daily. Our personalities are similar. No BS type of person as well. I have a question. In the state of Tennessee, do they bring parents of missing children into the police department and question them individually? And we kind of hit on this as well. I live in Ohio, and we do, especially when there's no evidence that the child left on his own and all the lies they've told. What the heck? Katie, at the very least, should have been questioned since she was the last one to see him. And I'm talking about questioning and interrogating with a little bit of pressure. But I feel like she's not very strong-minded and would crack easily. She appears weak in all of the interviews I've seen. What are your thoughts? Well, Lisa, my thoughts is I truly do not trust the lady, and I believe she's capable of anything, including trying to play off like a grieving mom. But she has never really played that position very well. She's never been really the grieving mom. You know, I think honestly, I think she's more devious than people give her credit for. I don't think people realize how manipulative she could be. She's got a lot of childhood trauma, and I'm sure she became very good at lying to cover and hide that childhood trauma. Personally speaking. So I think that she would have had to learn to lie and lie a lot. I think that she would have had to be believable. I think that she has every bit of the ability to play this off and to try to attempt it just by her childhood alone, because I truly believe she had to keep a lot from a lot of people. So we have to apply. That's why I say these people, everybody wants to say, why do we look in the past and why does it matter? Because it allows us to learn behaviors about these people. It is a very crucial part of the process is learning who they are. It's what helps us kind of put pieces of the puzzle together. Does it mean that our pieces that we're putting together are in the right order? It certainly does not. Okay. It's just a guide. It helps us behavior, past behavior. It's all relevant when you have missing children. All of it's relevant when you have missing children. If you have no missing children, your past is not relevant, right? If you're not guilty of any, your past isn't relevant. Your past is only relevant when it becomes relevant. And Katie and Chris's past are relevant. Seth's past was once relevant until he was no longer a viable person of interest. Then his past, no longer relevant. You see how that works? It's not hypocritical. It's a process. So that's kind of where we're at with that. Now, I don't know. I think I might have one or two more. This is about, I know what I wanted to do. I wanted to throw this down into the chat. Hold on a second. This is something that came out a day ago, I believe, June 5th, so yesterday. And somebody had recommended it. So let me see if I can find, there we go. Somebody had recommended this. And they're talking about Sebastian Rogers with Jennifer Coffindaffer. And I was actually going to go over it if I had time to. But honestly, I didn't have time to review it before the live. You know, my day kind of got away from me. Yesterday, my day kind of got away from me. Today, my day got away from me. So I wasn't able to review it. So that right there is it. I want you guys to watch it. We're going to be discussing it sometime tomorrow. I don't know when, if it's going to be in the morning or in the afternoon or in the evening. I have no clue. But we will be discussing it. And then, of course, we had Tabitha. And that really is everything that I have related to this and the inconsistencies. There's one other spot that I wanted to touch on. I forgot all about it. Hold on a second. I thought I pulled it up, but I just realized it's not here. So give me just a second. There it is. This it? So we have a beautiful lady. I can't remember if you gave me permission to use your name or not, so we'll call you ST. I know I'm going to be talking to you back and forth for a little minute, so let me know if I can use your name or what name you would prefer me to use when addressing you or discussing your work. So a beautiful gal reached out to me and had this spreadsheet and wanted my thoughts on it because it had some ideas of what questions we would like to see, how Chris and Katie answered certain questions from interview to interview. And so she created this spreadsheet, and I'm really liking how it's developing. She's got several interviews in here, and she's trying to hit on critical topics. And so what I have decided I'm going to do is I'm going to make, because I think she's doing an excellent job, but this is a lot. This is a huge undertaking with these cases. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get her questions, and I'm going to post those in the community tab. And if you guys are listening to these interviews, answer these questions and turn them back into me so I can turn them into her. And so she can plug them into her Excel spreadsheet. This would be absolutely amazing if we can all do. What I'm trying to do is, a lot of people like to crowdfund. So I'm crowdfunding resources, right? We have a lot of work here. We've got a lot of interviews that last for 2 to 3 hours at a time. We know that there's good information in there that could really help us understand what happened to Sebastian and where he may be. So I've kind of reached out. I've been working on the Dutch's interview for March 22nd. I got halfway through it and I had to stop, so I need to pick that back up. And now that I have her questions, I'm going to go back to the beginning and start over and start listening for her questions. And so I'll be filling out the information on that and sending and turning that into her as well. So if you guys would like to participate in that and you do have an interview in mind or whatever, just pay attention to my community post. And tomorrow I'm going to highlight these questions. I'm going to get them into it so you guys know what questions need to be answered. And if you guys are out there and listening to interviews or out there listening to Chris and Katie on these podcasts and stuff, and you hear them answer one of these questions, jot it down and let us know. That'll be super important. And again, Kara, I hope we were able to answer your questions. Before we run, I just wanted to talk about and thank our channel sponsors this evening. We want to give Jen a huge round of applause and a thank you for her 5 Bullhorn Betty memberships out there as gifts to a few lucky people. Misty had some questions in my opinion and some statements. In my opinion, C&K wants us to think he woke up, told her to put the dogs, go to bed, and Kay would on the other side of the house instead of so close to the front door. Interesting. Wes, been here for a little minute, became the newest member of the coffee club. God bless you. And Wes donated. I missed that. Well, thank you, Wes. This is why I come back and check these. Wes gifted 5 Bullhorn Betty memberships. So if you received your membership from Wes, don't forget to tell him thank you. Sheila, you're doing a wonderful job. Thanks for talking about Tabitha and Sebastian. May they never be forgotten. Enjoy ice cream on me. I love it. I love it. Kara said in that pic Kay shoved in Seth's face had a receipt. Oh, to prove the date and time. Yeah, interesting. And I've got to work on this. I don't know what to answer that. Our beautiful Sonia, also 5 Bullhorn Betty memberships. Thank you guys. God bless you guys for that. And Kelly F. became the newest member of the coffee club. Thank you. God bless you. I missed this one too, I think. When Kay went to Sebastian's room, didn't find him or in the house, why didn't Kay try to call Seth first before calling 911? To ask Seth if he had Sebastian or if he knew where he was because he ain't home. Good point. Why didn't she call more people before she freaked out? Interesting. Why did she freak out only in 3 minutes? Just like when Don showed up at the house, he said he immediately knew she was abducted. Well, when you just get at the house with all that greenery, how did you know she immediately was abducted? Why wouldn't you think that she had run off in some of that greenery or climbed up in a tree? I remember climbing up in a tree and falling asleep. Don't know. Don't ask me how I did that. I don't know. I just know it happened. Was CP sitting quietly when KP fell asleep? I don't know. They like to tell us that they went to sleep, but they don't like to tell us any of those key details. It seems almost impressive at this moment how little information they provide to us when they open their mouths. But they talk a lot. They just never give us any good information about what happened. They just fill it up with a whole bunch of BS that doesn't make a hill of beans, like cake pops and drinks and crap like that. Yes, PJs. Great point. Yes. Because I got to tell you, when you listen to her story, the lady should be in her freaking PJs. And I guarantee we're going to find out she was fully clothed. And it doesn't bode with her story. Sorry, Charlie. Thank you, Kelly. Kelly gifted 1 Bullhorn Betty membership. God bless you. Ren, thank you. God bless you. His conversation with Nina Wednesday after Sebastian disappeared, CP said they were not going to court the following Tuesday, almost like he knew Sebastian was not going to go back then. I know I've already read that, but I go through this at the end, especially with this mini, because I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. He also said everyone would have heard. Good catch. Everyone would have heard. It's really crazy because Chris, his speech sucks because he always says we instead of me when he really means me. And, you know, he keeps talking like he was there, but trying to convince us that he wasn't. That is, you know, or is he doing this intentionally? I think that needs to be almost our next question. Is he doing this intentionally to make us confused? Because I'm starting to feel like that's the case for some odd, unknown reason. You know? I really do. Thank you, Lori. God bless you. And Jen, to top it off, 1 Bullhorn Buddy membership goes to don't. I don't know who it went to. But whoever it was, don't forget to tell. Don't forget to tell the people thank you. We had, I think, 16 or 17 gifted memberships here tonight. Wowza. God bless you all. It's such a mess when people lie. Exactly. And then we can't, like, everybody's like, well, Chris said this and Chris said that. And it's like, dude, I wouldn't listen to nothing coming out of that man's mouth. Like, I want some damn receipts at this point. Every time I turn around, that man's lying. I've caught that man in so many stinking lies. What do you mean Chris said? I don't give a rat's ass what that man says. His words literally mean nothing to me at this point. He's lied so much. Katie has lied so much at this point. I don't believe crap that comes out of that lady's mouth. Like, at this point, you're going to have to pony up receipts, baby. I don't believe crap. You were at the house, prove it. You were asleep, prove it. You didn't leave that house, prove it. Because I don't believe a damn thing that you have to say. I got receipts. This doesn't sound right. This is inconsistent. This has changed completely. This is a bold-faced lie. Like, we can literally point the dots to exactly what inconsistency and what lie they have perpetrated upon the public. So at this point, I can't take anything that they say legitimately because they've lied so much. Now I have to question every piece of information that comes out of their mouth. Why? Because they've been busted lying over and over and over again. So next time, let's not preface Chris said, because my ears shut down when I hear Chris said. Another mother fully clothed and no PJs. Patsy Ramsey. Interesting. But she was found not, I heard she was finally not guilty. Like they after she died of cancer, I thought that they exonerated her. Now, Betty, calm down. You know, Chris and Katie were cleared. I know since day one. Since day one, they were cleared and they passed the lie detector test. I guess Chris must be confused as to what law enforcement questioning him, you know, like the beat cop asking him height and weight. Apparently, he must have confused that with the lie detector test. I have to think that he must have thought answering some questions to a law enforcement agent that morning was the polygraph test. And he must have thought he passed with flying colors. He must have been ultra confused. Chris cleared himself. He likes doing that, right? He likes doing that. He likes clearing himself, and he likes telling us how wonderful it is that Sebastian left no evidence behind, but he enjoys using the restroom on himself. Like I'm just such a Chris Proudfoot fan at this point. Man, I just want to give that man a freaking kiss and a freaking swift kick in the ass. I sure do. All right, guys, you guys have been with me long enough. Crystal Clear Chris, CCC. It's better than the CCP. No, it's not. I think I'd take the CCP over the CCC. Just saying. I think we're better off. They did clear both the parents and John Bonet. That's what I thought. Yeah. Crystal clear. Oh, I love that. There it is. He's crystal clear. I love that. We're going to have to use that on a thumbnail. I'm stealing that from you, Forgotten. That's 3. Go get some ice cream. I need to go get some ice cream. What time is it? I think Winn-Dixie might be closed, though. So I might be SOL for tonight. But we'll see. All right, guys. It was amazing. You guys have a great night. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me this evening. We need to get perspectives. Don't forget, we are working really hard to try to get these interviews. I'm going to be working on Dutch's. I'll probably start working on Dutch's again at like 3 o'clock in the morning. And then we should have a show. I'm hoping I can have something out. Tomorrow's Friday, so maybe by 7. Maybe I might wait until 9 to give you guys, let you guys enjoy your Friday morning a little bit before I bring the alarm. So anyways, guys, take care. God bless. We're keeping Sebastian focused. We also need to talk about Layla Santinello. Layla Santinello is another case that's really near and dear to my heart. And we haven't talked about her in a really long time. And I'm going to be going out to Tennessee. And I'm not going to Tennessee without going and searching for Layla and going out and searching for Summer. So we're doing a 3-person tour, most likely a 4-person tour, because there's Holland Snap out there, and we have some details on her case too. We've been trying to follow, and we only done one tour out there, and it was for a 2 or 3 day period for Holland Snap. That's all we designated. She needs more attention on her. She's somewhere. So, all right, guys. Well, we'll be back soon. See you in the morning. And don't forget, be kind, guys. I hope you guys did your act of kindness for Sebastian's honor. And we'll talk about it a little more tomorrow. And tomorrow, I will open up the phone lines for a little bit. All right, guys. God bless. See you soon.